No, ladies and gentlemen, your eyes do not deceive you. We are back live on P10 Race TV, and yes, the GOAT Racing League is back with us here today. It is a long haul, it is a long draw, as we are going to see super late models back in a relatively niche time span and a very tough little track as well. Now, we have seen these drivers before come on out to this track. We have seen them before come on out to this this layout, but this is the first time the GOAT Racing League has ever truly had to put this one up on the display here. So very interested to see really kind of where that kind of lies and the power that lays on the throttle and all that around here, especially considering the overwhelming nature of this size of a track, this size of a kind of speedway, if you will. So Michigan International Speedway certainly going to be an interesting one to see, and certainly going to be very interesting to see what exactly these cars can do on these big-ended tracks. So, but nevertheless, race fans, for those that are tuned in, thank you so much for tuning on in. We do appreciate your support. Be sure also to check out our sponsors at Sim 500 Racing League, and also check out the GOAT Racing Diecast as well. Certainly can use the support, and we thank you in everything that they have given us today to be able to come out to the show. That said, ladies and gentlemen, of course, obviously we are in Michigan International Speedway, Brooklyn, Michigan, to be exact here, as we are currently getting lined up with our field of drivers here. Got a pretty good solid lineup here. Some of your favorites here, including, of course, the old Reign of Terror himself, who's still searching for that Club Series championship, taking on a guy that also was going for a Truck Series championship at Phoenix just a couple of weeks ago, and Anthony M. Calatoni. And a few other guys in there with Joe Hudson, John Hickman Jr., Joey Cattina, Alan Wild. A lot of names in there that you may know quite well and you may be favorably remembering. So we'll see how well they do and how much they can bring onto the track here with a super late model car. Again, this is not their usual MO, nor is it usually where they're supposed to race. But you know what they say, we can't have a little fun without cracking a few eggs and making an omelet out of it. So I just completely came up with that analogy. Please do not judge me for that one. 40 seconds left on the clock, though, here. Charles Van Schijk getting his time in as well. Lays down a top 5 qualifying pass there for the number 23. Yeah, it's good to see the old 23 back on this track and back on the sport here. Some new faces in the house here. Of course, recruit like Seth Fouty there, and the number 32. He's bringing that machine out to the circuit. Interesting to see what he can bring to the table. The number 57 rolling on as well. Really trying to get his lap time in there and see what he can bring to the table here. The driver of the number 57. Again, I don't have my live timing sheets like you may think here, guys. So, for that driver of number 57 today, of course, is Jordan Pauly there. So, we'll see Mr. Pauly there and see what he can bring to the table here. Looks like driving the old back to blue in that 57 as qualifying has come to an end. It's time to set ourselves up for the racing action today. And I'm just going to be able to name off top 3 and go from there. But your top 3 qualifiers will, of course, be Reign of Terror himself, the 19, Tyler Dalton. The outside of him will for sure be Joe Hudson, the 15. Then Anthony M. Calatani going to be in at 84. 4th spot on back, we'll see it here. It will be Doy Woods in the 28. The 23 is Charles Van Schijk. The 99 is Tommy Ryan. The 7th position is going to be Mike Kelly in the 6th. The 60 is John Hickman Jr. The 14, Joey Cattina. Alan Wild, 75. The 10 is Ryan D. Cook. The 42 will be Dakota Kramer with Doug Sigmund, and the 04. 32 is Seth Fouty and Zachary Fouty in the 22. The 35 is Jeff Ryan. The 44, Christoph Hall. The 57, Jordan Pauly. Ron Holyfield in the 11. And the 96, Jerry Livingston with the 74, Brian Wortman rounding out your field. Whew. You get all that? All right. Very good. So right now we're currently just waiting for our drivers to make it to the stage and onto the track. Here we go. We got them all lined up here. Yeah, we're working with a completely different camera system here, guys, and a completely different software, so bear with us. Sim 500 Esports Racing League giving a little shout out to the members as well. If you guys are interested too, by the way, join this group, join this racing series. Be sure to head to that little website they've got going on there, the MIRacing.com member site. That is where to get to the league. That's where to get to the view. Thank you again to Sim 500 Esports Racing League for having us come on board here with the GOAT Racing League, guys. It's going to be awesome to see what these super late model cars are going to do. And again, I think they're running them really on the bigger track side of things. So if you wanted an equal playing field, I think you're not going to get much more equal than this. So just saying. But nevertheless, we're getting ready to roll them out onto the circuit. 60 laps to the distance today here. Of course, very, very tough track. 2 miles in length, high banked, very tracky. And a little bit close encountering of the harder racing kind. One thing I'm going to say right now, though, a lot of drivers are probably going to be a little bit frustrated is, of course, that outside of corner number 2, having to progressively go from that banking of the corner down to the straightaway. It's going to send a few drivers a little bit rocking and rolling out there. It's going to send a few of them kind of spitting a little bit, just trying to hang in there. So watch for the drivers for all around to be a little bit more conservative, a little bit more on that gas pedal, and a lot more on the throttle when they can. Wild racing to be had. It's going to be a good one today. Alan the Wild Man Wild says, let's go. That's Alan. It's great to hear from you again, sir. The old Wild Man piloting the 75 today. We'll see how he does here as we're getting ready to roll him onto the circuit. Coming up tomorrow night, of course, here, Six Sigma Sim Racing Oval League is back with us in the Gen 4 Cup Series. We'll have them for one little stint, and then they'll have a week off, and then I will be back from vacation by then. So it'll be nice to be back on the back into my my usual particular camera system and workarounds I have. But hey, thank you again to those that at least gave us the opportunity to do this in the first place. Without them, guys, we wouldn't even be able to do this. So give a big hand and a thank you as well to our folks that were able to support us on vacation. It's a very nice studio, I will admit. If you guys can see what I see, trust me, you'd be probably a little jealous what I have around here, except for the overlay stuff. That's the only thing, but hey, that's okay. No big deal. Alright, nevertheless, we're ready to get down the action. We still have plenty of racing to go, of course, from the Six Sigma boys. We'll have that Wednesday night. Then Saturday night, of course, Go Racing League back in the Cup Series for their second and final race of the season. Then Sunday night, we'll see the Porsche Cup Challenge on the track there. It's all do or die time now as we roll them down on the trackside here into the race bracket here. Tyler Dalton looking to line them off to the green. Grid them up with Joe Hudson, the number 15 on the outside. And away we fly. Let's get racing. Green flag is out in Michigan, 60 to the distance. Galantoni immediately getting a huge dump on that. Yeah, I actually got it right last time around. I messed up big time there for the last couple of months into weeks. So I apologize to Galantoni there for messing his name up. Rolling back down on the back straightaway, though. Everyone right now kind of flying on by, just trying to move the way through the dash and gas on the gas pedal. But Charles Van Schaik, 23, opting to stay a little bit on the lower side. He doesn't want to get into a mess right out of the gate. Could be honestly playing a little bit of strategy here. Kind of try to roll everybody in, see what he can do. Maybe he can build some more speed down there. It's hard to say. Dakota Kramer, the number 42 right now, currently bolstering back a little bit into the top 10 spots now, further on downward. Everyone's still trying to get something going as we got a 3-wide salute traveling up through the ranks and through the speeds. Beautiful maneuvering there as John Higgin Jr., the number 60, gets right up there with the number 6 on Mike Kelly. Bit of a hard racing background between those two. And Mike Kelly obviously back at Phoenix having an unfortunate break there on the last lap. Couldn't quite get to the championship rung and get himself to victory lane. Would end up losing that battle out, but has since told me he's okay losing a few spots here or there. It's just when you give up everything, that's when he's not a fan of that. Number 22 down there, Zachary Fouty here. Family member to the other Fouty down there, and of course with that was piloting the number 50. So Zachary currently just kind of hanging in there. Seth Fouty is who I was meaning to say there in the 32. 57 I was going to say. Oh, the having a little bit of trouble there and there on that back straightaway. That's what we were wondering about. Big time roll over there. The number 3 upside down there as well. Can't quite get a number on that one. I think that might have been, because currently there are custom numbers. I don't know who exactly that was. Sorry for the quick camera cuts. I'm trying to figure this out here, guys. That was a nasty little rollover, though, he took. That's, I think that might have been, I don't have a number for that one, honestly. The 3 is not on my radar here, but that was a bad little situation there that Paulie had got himself into there. I'm not totally sure what exactly transpired that they even got that to happen in the first place, and I think there might be a reason too why I can't get a hold of that driver there. It's because they've obviously left the building. Don't worry, folks, we got this still working. So normally I would go visit the old P-Team Race TV instant replay. Unfortunately, that function's kind of broken right now, so I don't have much of a choice here, guys. We try to work around it, but unfortunately there's some things in the system that still connect from what we deal with at the normal studio, and let's just say I'd rather not go and try to change that up a bit. So the field right now currently just getting doubled up again here. They'll roll them off on the track side. Big track again, 2 miles in length. You gotta believe it's going to be a long little tussle and a very long, stretched out little game plan here for many of these drivers. Focus is going to be the biggest thing here. You have to keep an eye on that draft, keep an eye on the tire wear, and watch every little bit of this track as you start to continue to move through. You know, Mike Kelly, too, I think is one thing that we haven't talked about him here, but last season in the Truck Series, never got the one win he was looking for, never got a single sniff at it, yet he was able still to come away in the Final Four and almost, somehow almost taking that home. He's looking maybe to put it all together again today. It's going to be a very tight little road and a very tough little spot here, though, when all is said and done and all is embankment here. Watch for drivers, though, as they continue to kind of roll through. You'll see more and more rubber being laid down. That could open up another lane up there in the middle spot instead of having to just completely hammer home that bottom lane. But, yeah, it's really going to matter down to just who can figure it out first and who can get it sized up. Like I said, it's not an easy track. It's not an easy race. Not by any means the imagination, do we actually? So we're going to roll them down on that turn number 2 here. Tyler Dalton leaning back in. Kyle Tony going to be right on the outside. Mike Kelly on the inside. And it looks like we'll have John Hickman Jr. in the second spot of that second row. And I wonder, too, with Dalton, is like he thinking he's as comfortable? Is he thinking he's safe and sound? Do you think maybe he's just a little too fun, maybe a little too bit too on the edge and too on his spot here? It's hard to say, you know. I don't know. It's a driver, though. I would not be getting too comfortable no matter where I'm at. Trust me, I've already done that enough where I'll just get a little too in there and in between. Next thing I know, I end up destroying somebody in the process. Shout out to somebody who's watching, but I did that by accident back at the track. So, although I've done that a few times to them, and they've got me back for it, I don't blame them. So we're going to lead him down through onto that front straightaway here. Back to the green flag. Back out in Tyler Dalton. I don't know where he was thinking to go, but he sure scared Calatoni a little bit right out of the gate. Oh, my. I think he was either trying to drive it up or he was trying to drive it off. Either way, that was not something I think Calatoni was appreciative of. But rolling down through corner number 2 here as Dalton leads it. Calatoni still trying to get something going. Going to get right on the draft. Kelly knows what to do as well. Get in that draft. And a big push here from Kelly. Going to the inside. Looking for the run. Can it get it to stick, though? That's the biggest thing here. He's going to roll it right on Dalton there. Now Dalton now sees he's got some company of brewing. He's coming up close. He's coming up quick. Hickman Jr. also in that mix as well. Trying to stabilize up the car a bit. That draft line, man, again, you talk about how hard it is to push a next-gen Cup car on those intermediates and these 2-mile-long tracks. Oh, boy, I don't even want to think what the heck you have to do with a super late model here on this track. Holy Lord. I would have to think more than anything, just trying to pass, let alone get a good opportunity to pass, would literally just kind of force your way in a bit, maybe in the worst end of the spots of the rhythm. Yet alone, though, they are still keeping it consistent, keeping it cool, and cross down. Look at this, Kelly. He's going for a big move here. He's going to try it. And it looks like he's actually going to get it a stick a little bit. Gets it to drive right off down from turn one, and he does get the pass there. So it looks like you might be able to start making some moves here and making some workarounds. But again, once the tires start to fade in, how bad does that then turn this race into more of a strategy race and hope that someone doesn't get you flanked on the fuel and the tires? But for the first time in this recruitment race, I guess you could say, but we're also going to call it a fun race for what it's worth. Mike Kelly's got the race lead. Back behind him, though, he's got a little bit of company in the name of Charles Van Schaik and a little known man by the Wild Man, Alan Wild, right in that mix as well as we go on board with the old Wild Man himself. And you can just hear the full throttle sensation, the throttle power off. They have got to just even get these moves to work. And the cars look like, actually, I'm kind of surprised. I thought they'd be sticking more towards the bottom. They're actually kind of drifting up a little bit, so they actually are kind of forced up there into the outside lane more than I thought. That's pretty hard racing, too, right now. Here comes a battle for the lead again. Calatoni immediately dipping back under there with Kelly. And Dalton right in behind there with Calatoni. Calatoni obviously knows that Dalton probably owes him one and maybe a championship while he's at it, but really, Anthony, man, you can't lose races out. You're talking Giants versus the world, not talking Giants versus one driver. He may get on me for that one, but that's okay. I know the fan base is laying around here somewhere. I don't know where you boys are at right now. You guys have been kind of quiet today. But nevertheless, Kelly with a crossover back from turn number 2 into 3 and 4, and now Calatoni's still trying to dick it in a little bit. Looks like he'll go a little bit deeper this time with Tyler Dalton pushing him up a little bit. And it seems like that draft line too, again, you can't really get a punch draft, but boy, you can get a lot of speed just from kicking up a bit. And then here comes that defensive maneuvering here. Perfect timing there from Dalton, managing to keep the 6 behind him. Or in front of him, excuse me, but still in a tough little spot as Kelly, oh my word. The battle for the lead right now just keeps on heating up every lap, each corner, each turn. And then you're not up front either. You're pretty much kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place the way it's looking. But if this is a sign of things to come, I think we may be in for a great series of hard racing and a lot of just complete crazy overtakes and positioning. But I think really one thing that's going to settle the bend from the boys is that each track is going to have a different kind of strategy. It's going to have a different kind of racing ideals to it, a different kind of boundaries, something to it that really just makes more common ground, more common sense here for those that were working hard to get there, but for those that are also trying to build up to get into the between there. John Hickman Jr. too, we haven't forgot all about him yet. We're on board with him right now, currently in the 3rd spot. One thing I kind of like about what Hickman Jr. has done in previous seasons and previous races is that he's almost just kind of been tempo, 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 tempo. He hasn't really tried to doghound on anybody. He hasn't really tried to like push his luck with anybody. Really, he's just been rather clever. He's been pretty smart on how he kind of lingers with tracks, lingers with behind the others. But when he needs to start pitting the speed up a little bit more, that's when all of a sudden that just kind of laying low for a little while, then just kind of building that power back up, yeah, that's what it usually does for you, is when you can just get all that speed and momentum kicked your way. As you go on board here with the old Reign of Terror himself, you see Alan Wild. Ooh! That rear end is sliding worse than I've ever seen a car slide on this track and saving it. That thing was dead center. That thing looked like it was a 30-degree angle. The only reason I can't say it was a 45 is because he didn't quite get it that loose. Oh my word. Yeah, Wild right now kind of just trolling around at the moment. Probably just trying to keep us cool. As you see back in the pack there, the number 44 as well, Christoph Hall. Currently right now still, I believe, in the hunt for a possible championship. He needs a little bit of work, though, done with him and his other driver there. And, of course, that being Sammy Harrell, those two will be fighting quick and fighting most predominantly at the next race, which is, of course, Auto Club Speedway coming up this weekend. We will see that on Saturday night. So be sure to tune on in on PTM Race TV for Saturday night's action there. Yes, we'll still have this old simracingapps.com stuff. Don't worry, guys. It will not be here forever. I promise you we'll get back to our usual setup eventually. One of the crazy mad lads that came up with this, though, Joey Gattina, the number 14, kind of laying back there with the number 10 there, Ryan Cook. And those two, they obviously know a thing or two about racing each other as caution comes out on the track here. Looks like a little bit of problems out there. I do not know where the caution came from. Not seeing any drivers out there currently in trouble or any issues like that, so it looks like it's going to be a debris caution, although there probably is a driver out there that I did not see get into a bad little deal. I don't think they're doing any stage cautions here. Well, I could be wrong, though. I think maybe I need to look at that real quick. Producers, we should have that already, shouldn't we not? Alright, they say, yeah, we got it. Hold on. Hold on here, guys. Oh, there we go. We got it finally up and running. Yep, there was a... Not seeing any stage cautions, so yeah, there was definitely no cautions for this. So that means basically we just had a little wreck or a lot of debris out there, and unfortunately we had to get the caution out to get them cleaned up out there. You know, it's one thing too we can kind of look at now and speculate is that will the drivers go into pit road knowing that they kind of have to deal with the pressure of the tires and the fuel, and it looks like, yeah, they will be going to pit road now, so we'll see what happens from here. Interesting decisions here, interesting choices to work with. Rolling down from pit roadside, then coming on out. The fuel and the tires being used up well, but it's going to be Kyle Tony who jumps up to the lead now. So Mike Kelly is going to be in a bit of a disadvantage here. Kind of interested to see exactly with that 84 if he's going to be able to make ends meet there with the way his speeds are. I got to believe more than anything the focus is going to be just trying to keep out of trouble. A lot of focus, a lot of determination obviously putting into this kind of racing. I'd say more so than anything, though, the biggest dilemma that you face when you're racing at this speed, this kind of power, is when over-aggression becomes the norm. That's what you really do not want. So we're going to roll them around now. I'm going to try my best. Again, guys, I don't have a live timing sheets right now, so I'm doing my best to kind of see who I have in certain areas, certain order. But it looks like Cal Tony, your leader. Kelly will be in second. Third will be Hickman Jr. and Charles Van Schaik in the third spot. Tyler Dalton, Dakota Kramer holding up the final 3 rows. The first 3 rows, I should say. Not final. So they're final, then I would certainly love to see what the heck they can even do from there, if they would even be able to get by with that kind of speed. But nevertheless, we're going to roll them back down to the green flag. This time on by to the front straightaway here. Time to get the Super Series up and running again. 40 laps still remain. Now it's all about pacing here and just seeing if you can even hang on to the line and hang on to the drive. Cal Tony immediately trying to defend that bottom lane, but again, that corner exit, oh, it's going to give so many headaches to him, I bet, because right now, Hickman Jr. is trying to throw the Winn-Dixie number 60 right into the playing ground and lot onto the spot. Rolling it back through, though, Mike Kelly still keeping the left rear corner panel in good position. Does a crossover jump to the front straightaway here off of turn number 4. Now the battle for the lead kicks up again. These two do not seem to mind each other, but they don't want to lose to each other. Kelly may be looking for his very, very first win ever on Pizza Race TV, and maybe finally able to put a few demons to work and put a few curses off his limit. Back down to that back straightaway right now, number 23, Charles Van Schaik, rolling up onto the spank here and looking to get a little bit of a beat down on these boys. Jameson Campbell Sr. says go, number 23. Yeah, give a little goat to him. Jameson, is great to have you on the show. Thanks for tuning on in. Rolling down with the number 14, Joey Gattina there as well. The 7500 camp now, patrolling a little bit closer up. Got a little gold standard card on that 14 color. And he's trying to make sure he lives by that gold standard itself. And for the record books, that's my number he stole, so he better be taking good care of it as well out there, I tell you that much. But all jokes aside, right now I have a little bit of company. Almost 4 deep there down the back straightaway. Actually, that was 4 deep. Oh, boy. That was 4 deep, and I'm not sure who decided that was a good idea. Maybe it was either Ryan Cook, Tyler Dalton that started it, but he got him right in between the 14 Katina as well as that 23 of Charles Van Schaik. Those boys just did not seem to mind, nor did they seem to care. And boy, did they throw it to the wind and to the wire there. Big jump up into the positions. Jameson says he's glad to be here. We're glad to have him as always. Doy Woods in 28, man. Well, besides his mouth kind of getting in the way last time out, he certainly has still been pretty much right where he needs to be in terms of scope, in terms of control, as he gets a little bit of company on that number 10 down there. Doy, obviously a very outspoken, very driven driver is the best way I can put it, but man, he drives as much as he can get that mouth going. I tell you, he is probably going to be one of those guys that you'd be a little bit more scared of more than anything, because he just knows how to work every bend of that track down there. CJ Sturgill says, sorry I couldn't make it. Date night with the wife. Go Team 43. CJ, it's all right. We do appreciate you at least tuning on into the broadcast. Hope you're enjoying your time with your wife, and hopefully you're enjoying the show, sir. A little onboard camera here right now with Dakota Kramer right now, as we are still 35 laps remaining in this race. Almost halfway done, and you can see too that I'm genuinely surprised how quick that draft actually picks up, but the problem is you can't lose out too much. There is a slight bubble. I am noticing that if you give up that bubble, that then becomes a lot harder to make moves and becomes a lot harder to make any drive off from. So I could be wrong, but I mean, it looks like that bubble is starting to kind of affect towards the middle of the back to the pack of the pack, and I think that could be the difference maker. We'll see as we're on board right now with old Anthony and Cal Tony. Talking Giants versus the World Crew right now, seeing the battle rage in between. Dakota Kramer now looking to rage against the machine, and he's looking to take down Kelly with him. lot of power and build up there on that inside lane, but the outside run just too much. Kelly making it work up there. And honestly, last time we were here, that bottom lane was actually the lane everybody wanted to use and they were going for it, and it worked out the strategy-wise. It looks like that might not be the case today, because it seems though anyone who gets the outside, you're figuring it all out here in Michigan. And look at Katina, still 3 wide and him right off the corner banks of turn number 4. And he's got a lot of power and speed built up there by Tyler Dalton as the number 10 of Ryan D. Cook, looking to kind of shoot it out with him as well. Rolling for more and more right now. Kelly just hoping to hang in there. Cal Tony still powering off right on the spot. Caution flag out on the track yet again. Looks like more problems down there on the circuit. I think that might have been something to do with Wortman and somewhere else there. Not quite sure what went wrong. Oh, well, that might be a good answer. Looks like old Ryan D. Cook down there had a little bit of a problem out on the track. And unfortunately, as they always say, you don't want to have problems on the track. You want to have good moments on the track. Unfortunately for Cook, though, that may not be the same case in this point of view. Gets a little bit too out of shape and a little too off the spot, once we get halfway done with this one. So it looks like right now, currently looking at Mike Kelly, your race leader still. Cal Tony second. Katina moving into the 3rd spot. John Higwood Jr. holding on the 4th. And Dakota Kramer in top 5 right now, as it's time for another round of pit stops. Coming down from pit road wise yet again here as they roll them back out. It looks like we're going to have one position change or two, maybe. So, yes indeed, Galatoni gets them off the pit road stops. John Higman Jr. going to take that 2nd road out. Mike Kelly now going to be forced back into the back again. But remember, Galatoni did have a great jump there last time, and unfortunately it did not quite stick out the way he was hoping for. So we're going to double file them up here and see what we can do and go in this position. Charles Van Schaik says these things are a blast to drive in the chat here. Charles, I'm glad to hear from you there on that, sir. But I think you all should probably be focusing in on actually racing out there today, good sir. Joe Hudson's supposed to be piloting number 15. He's actually driving the big 112 out there. Not sure why he decided to swap the numbers around and everything, but we'll let him just kind of figure it from there. Again, guys, some of these guys I do not have the proper numbers on because they are doing custom numbers in their paint schemes. As I kind of saw earlier with the number 3, I wasn't sure who that was necessarily, as we're going to roll him down to the starting line. Well, let's see what happens with that 112 there. As they roll him down, Hudson leads it. Green flag is out. A big stop there from Foudy. Foudy didn't even get off the line. Everyone kind of shooting back in between. Now we're off. Jameson says he can drive with one hand and it's a caution. Yeah, I'll give him that, but I don't know about the caution side of it yet. Hudson right now just trying to keep Calatoni at bay, but that is a huge gap now developing up, and now the battle's shooting up a bit. I want to see how that bubble works. Look at Calatoni. Holy smokes. The man needed a little jump kick or a jump start. I don't know what it is, but look at this. The 84 has now turned the whole world against him. He has passed the entire field up, and he's jumped this thing into the ground. Hudson probably looking at it like maybe that wasn't the best strategy to use on these guys, but I got to try something. It might actually still work out okay. He's hanging in there. He's not done yet. Man, talk about absolutely laying it in thick and laying it in quick. Hudson trying to build up speed, trying to build up some power down there. Gonna roll him right off. Right now, look at Mike Kelly. Oh, that's trouble. And there goes Kelly. That slammed off turn number 3 and 4. I don't have to use a replay for that one. Hudson and him getting connected in off of turn number 4. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. A nasty collision there for Mike Kelly there. Looked like he was trying to make a pass there. And unfortunately, Hudson, he didn't want nothing to do with that. So what happens? Well, as they say, some would say, the racing incidents just pop up when you least expect it. Ouchie, ouch, and... Oh, what's that other word? Oh, yeah, ouch. Kelly heading to pit road, and that is one damaged up, number 6. What a tough break there for him there. Just getting it way too close. Way too on the nose there. And all of a sudden realizing, might not have been a very good decision. But again, I have to reiterate that we've even talked about it before. These cars, they're going to force you to have to drive harder. They're going to force you to drive a little bit more aggressive. And it's going to be a lot more difficult to make moves and make runs like that without possibly getting yourself into something you don't want to be in. That's a very tough road and a very long shot you have to come back from now. And Mike knows it too. Again, this is him and Hudson. They're pretty much in pit road for a little bit. And I think, honestly, Kelly might be out. Hudson looks like he may be out of this one, too. Both drivers. Maybe too much damage to spare. It's hard to say. Jameson can't believe it either. He just says, wow, Jameson, that was a little bit of a wild little wreck there. And just all of a sudden just kind of came out of nowhere, too. I mean, he drove it right up there off turn number 3 and 4. Couldn't hold her down. And next thing you know, in the wall she goes. So while we currently get everyone taken care of here, get a little bit more scrapped up and straightened out here. Still have about 23 laps remaining when we get back to the green. Focus is definitely going to be very high on these drivers making the right adjustments, making the right moves here. I think the last thing too, really, you don't want to do with this kind of aggression is making somebody mad at you for the rest of the season. Again, this is just a kind of a little introduction, if you will, kind of the racing side of things. It's really going to be more designed to just kind of get everyone's foot in the door. But boy, oh boy, is it going to be a lot of fight and a lot of drive these guys have got to put together here. Caution lights are off on the pace car here, and we are currently getting ready to roll it back down the green. Kyle Tony, your leader. Hickman Jr. right beside him on the outside, the 22 there. Going to be Zachary Fouty. Then we'll see Joey Katina. And at 57, that will be Jordan Powley down there. Then the 28, Doy Woods, rounding them out in the field. Big jump coming up here, folks. We'll see what happens. Honestly, I believe more than anything, though, you're going to see these guys just kick it right into overdrive and kick it right up a few notches. Let's bring it back down around off the track side here, down from turn number 4 to that front straightaway. Fans on their feet yet again. The Super Late models ready to show what the GOAT Super Series is going to be all about when they get to it. 23 laps remain coming to the drive. Big pushers coming through. Looks like Paulie down there trying to make some early adjustments as he makes his mark down on that 28. Coming around though, John Hickman Jr. there on the outside trying to get around to there. Cal Tony blocking the bottom. Doesn't want him to catch the giraffe line. But even then, that could still give a lot of headaches there and a lot more misery there in their case. Cal Tony though welcoming them to make those mistakes as he drives it quickly right off. Now comes the push, come to shove. This is where teammates and racing allies can come into effect. Paulie trying to get Katina to work with him. Oh, but he got a little too close there with Hickman Jr. They smack, they tack, and they go on the attack. Doy Woods straight to the bottom, shoot for the runs. Oh boy, oh boy. They gave that one quite a bit of a stir and a bit of a push and a bit of a shoe poured in between. But it's Kyle Tony and Katina right now battling for the race lead. Jordan Pauly right now kind of just looking on. It is his first race of his career here on Pizza Race TV. And boy, I'm very impressed with this driver. I think if he gets into this series and goes into the season-long format, oh boy, watch out. I have got a feeling he may be putting a few drivers to shame down there. But he's going up against some heavy hitters. It's a wily veterans. The Reign of Terror there in that between. And then, of course, the big boy, the big man with the mouth and the drought is the 28 there of Doy Woods, still looking to try to make some marks and make some moves here. The Mobile One machine tries to see if he can build some more speed. Meanwhile, down to the bottom lane, here comes Paulie. He's going to draft off right out the 84. Gets that right into trouble. Little 14 gets T&M colliding right on the front straightaway. Problems here on the track side. Oh man, that's what I was considering again. Was that going to be a very bad effect on these guys? And it happened again. Oh my goodness. Well, I got a feeling right now Doy Woods probably feeling like the luckiest man alive for avoiding that one. But unfortunately, Jordan Pauly, I talked so many good things about him, and all of a sudden the broadcaster curse just comes back to haunt me as usual. My apologies there, Mr. Pauly. I did not mean to get you the old broadcaster curse thrown at you on your debut race, sir. Jameson says getting intense. Well, I think we have been a little bit past the intense part already, good sir. I think not. I think we have already pretty much hit the point of no return. We're already there in this case. So the field now going to have to double up again and recenter themselves off once again. How many of these drivers, man, are they going to let them bring into this league and be able to drive like this? Like, drive this aggressive, this most powerful? I mean, again, I'm not complaining that anything is over with, but, I mean, it's still just crazy to believe they let him run at that kind of level, that kind of drive, and then take it to this jump. This could be one of the most aggressive seasons and series we've ever seen, honestly. And I thought for a long time, honestly, that was really anything we kind of posted up on the show. I take it way back. Well, fight for tooth or nail, fight for everything you got, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to double them up again. And we are starting to close this one off a bit. Rolling back down on the front straightaway here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens here when we get them to the very end of this race. This could push them beyond their own limits here with 17 to go. Let's see if they can hang in there. Got Tony immediately on that loud pedal. He knew what he had to do. Tommy Ryan, we haven't talked about him all day, the 99. He's just kind of sneaking up on us here. He's done that before to me, though. I mean, remember back at Dover, he just kind of snuck around, and then all of a sudden he won the race. He knows a thing or two about kind of putting the speed up and putting the Barners on the track. 2 wins to his name in the Truck Series. Didn't quite come away into the championship hunt, but now in a whole new category and a whole new run, the VA811.com number 99 is back to please and back to displease the others. Please the fans, displease the drivers. Why do they displease the drivers? Simply put, because he's out to win. And now, speaking of out to win as well, looks like Doy Woods trying to get this one napped up on his bargain too. He's looking for a race win today here, looking to go bong's-eyeing up on the outside, laying it quickly to the bottom. The 19th Tyler Dalton looking to jump it right in between there on the inside. Each driver just trying to hold their own, trying to put the pressure on. Dalton looking maybe to get more run out here. And again, this is a reason I nicknamed him the Reign of Terror. You just never know when he wants to terrorize the entire field and terrorize the leaders. And he's doing it now here. Calatoni trying to hold him off. You can see him beating, bumping, and slapping that rear end up worse than I can think of most anyone else would try to do. Calatoni doesn't seem to mind it too much. Matter of fact, I think if anything, he's probably more pleased he has having to force him to do it. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. Look out. Calatoni just got clipped by the number 19 to the inside grassy plains. Oh, my. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. You lead the race for so long, and then all of a sudden this happens. Oh, no. And Dalton knows, too, he made that mistake there, running down the back straightaway. Looked like he was trying to line that up there with the 84, and instead he lined up the bumper to be taken completely out of his proportion. And Doy Woods just sneaking right ahead of that. Dalton not a happy camper with himself. I gotta believe not happy, and probably has a sworn little enemy and a little bit of a mad old Calatoni right now. Oh, my, oh, my. So now the field currently having to get put back in their place again and back in the right spot. I've got a feeling they probably are realizing that now this might be a lot more of a tougher challenge than it is looking like to race. I love watching these super late battles, man. I don't know how I feel about it on the big tracks. You put them on short tracks like Dover, I'd be okay with those, but personally, you ask me, I always love to stick with what we got best, which is the very short tracks. From those half miles to those quarter miles, those to me are where super late miles are king. Roll them around right now. I think we may have 11 laps left to go. It's been a tough race. Gonna patrol them onto the back straightaway here, ladies and gentlemen. Get them riled up again. Gotta believe right now, Doy Woods probably feels like he's in a knife. He's working with a knife in a gunfight, just waiting for the inevitable to happen. Rolling right onto the green flag. Doy gonna start him up, and probably not the best start there for most of them, and especially not right now. Can they hang on to the start? Well, they do, but just barely. Christoph Hall. Oh boy, that was definitely not what these guys were expecting. A lot of them wanted to get a jump on this position, wanted to get a jump on the run. That did not quite go according to plan. And Charles Van Schaik says, boogity boogity, let's go racing again, boys. They didn't say that last part, just said the two things. Speaking of two things, why don't you put 1 and 2 and then 3 together? 3 wide, saluting down through turn number 3 for the race lead. Doy Woods trying to hang in there, but Tommy Ryan and Tyler Dalton right now. Oh, Ball's putting them together. That's probably what Doy's hoping for, but he needs to get to that draft. He knows those two will fight quick for it, but that draft is where it's going to be at. Side by side, still leaning back down right now. Every driver for themselves here. Unbelievably, incredibly crazy to believe. Neither driver giving an inch with only 10 laps left in this one. And Dalton now, the reign of terror begins again. He's got the lead. Tommy Ryan right now probably trying to settle himself up, get his nerves back underneath him, fix this race up. Ryan Cook now, the number 10 Monster Energy Beast, is starting to patrol through as well. And look at that draft, man. Look at the power off that draft line. It just comes full circle almost, like you're just pushing everything to its limits, just getting so much speed and kick back. It just does not seem relevant, nor like it would even work, but it does. It works so well and just kind of kicks into that high motion, that high regard. Incredible to believe and incredible to see. Right now looking a little bit up to the top side, a little bit of trouble there as Ryan E. Cook kind of swings himself back in between there down to that bottom chute, down to the bottom shaft, trying to get some more speed in between. Cook right now trying to give it a little bit more of a go. Might have something. Doy Woods currently pushing him right in between, but Tyler Dalton yet again just seems like he does not want to be phased out, nor does he want to give up. Every time he comes to the track, I always say, watch out, because if there's anybody that can literally figure out how to run a race car or beat you out completely, it's definitely this guy. But again, does this car even the playing field out enough in terms of aerodynamic dependency as well as speed in for the corners? I think it kind of does. And it certainly will when that happens. Caution back out on the track. What has happened? Oh my, well, I think there's our answer there, guys. Oh my word. Trouble down there. I see the 04, Doug Sigmund. The 32. It's Fauci down there, unfortunately. Looked like he got into a bit of a mix-up. Oh, no. That's not what we want to see. Now it's going to be trolling closer to about 4 to go. This next restart. Seth Audi, I gotta believe right now, is not a happy camper for that one. But I think more than anything, I think the one that's going to be really hurting is going to be that 19 of Dalton, honestly. Because now with that caution, what that does is it basically forces a lot of drivers into another hard shoot, another hard little run here. So now all the focus is going to be put on these guys and see where they can do. What's left of their equipment, what's left of their tires, what's left of the speed you can gather and garner from. Man, I gotta think right now they are just probably trying to figure out how the heck strategy's even working, like what to do with it. We'll double them up here, ladies and gentlemen. All eyes now on the Speedway, now on the shot. Gotta wonder though, will they be able to get it going from here and finish this race outward? That is a decision they're going to have to make. Dalton, your leader. Cook on the outside. Doy Woods in the second row, the outside of him in the 99. Tommy Ryan, Charles Van Schaik, very quiet for the most part this last pass, but he's now looking to shoot it out. And John Higman Jr. right in the mix. We're coming to the line here. Only a couple laps remaining now. Can Dalton hang on just a little longer as they bring him to the restart zone? The Super Series now to a climactic sequence with 4 to go. And Higman Jr. did not get it off the line, did not get it where he wanted to be out of the gate. He's going to need to get a little bit of help. That was a tough spot there for him. Doy Woods well aware of that too. Pound that loud pedal up and put that pedal straight down in the middle here on the back straightaway here. Charles Van Schaik going into the third. Ryan Cook there, bottom lane, shooting it up, trying to get there as well. You're not going to get anything going though until you get to that 19. And Cook earlier on got kind of cooked up in that same corner. Trying to hold on. 3 laps left to go. Dalton leading it up. Trying to hang in there. Van Schaik trying to get the boogity into the 23-door dash McDonald's machine. Has really no chance or any other options unless he works with Doy Woods, and he knows he's going to have to continue to work off that 19. 2 cars are truly fast to the 1. Doy Woods, here we go. Maybe a little redemption to try to sweeten his deal up. Thought honestly he may have had something back Saturday night. Unfortunately didn't quite go that way. Now he's going to try to get it dialed in here with 2 laps to go. Green flag high in the air. We got only 2 more remaining. Still dead even, side by side, rolling him through. Van Schaik there on the bottom lane. Now looking to patrol in a little bit closer. Galatoni right on the edge as well. It is a pack stacked and loaded for the lead. But which one will get the advantage? Doy thinks he might have it set. Consider this a plate race, if you will, because this is pretty much what's coming down to. A 3 wide for the third spot. Looking maybe to go 4 wide, maybe in deep with Cook cucking it up. White flag in the air this time. We're going to finish this one under the green. One wrong move entering turn 1. You've got yourself a lot of cars coming up. They keep it clear. Now through 2. Dalton hanging in there. Doy Woods fighting and scratching him. Tommy Ryan up high side, moving it to the middle, looking to shoot for Calatoni, trying to push the 19. Just a little bit more to get it in there. Shooting it down. Doy Woods now. He's going to put all that bumper and skirting down to the 19. Dalton throwing going for a loop, shooting them onto the gap. They're going to come to the finish line dead even this time through the 3 wide, right in the mix, and Dalton will catch him off the line. Joey Woods into the wall. Dalton will hang on for the win. Unbelievable. Holy smokes, Colin Tony just barely getting it up there. He almost had it locked up. Joey Woods straight to the line, gets completely shafted by the 84 just a little bit, and Tyler Dalton takes full advantage, and yet again the Ram Terrier steals another win in a dire strain, and ironically enough, it falls under Cal Tony again. Joey Woods, though, I gotta believe is gonna be one unhappy friend right now. That is gonna be one man. Oh my word, what a race, though. Jamison Campbell Sr. says, what a finish. Oh, yes, indeed. Shannon, what heck of a race. Yes, it was. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner today, the number 19, Tyler Dalton. Holy smokes, what a race. What a race, what a day it has been. Impressive there. Big congratulations to the 19 Tyler Dalton, and a big thank you to everybody that tuned on in here. These Go Racing Diecast Super Series presented by Sim 500 Camp. I certainly got to say, these Go Racing boys still have it in them. So if you have all the time in the world to come join us on Tuesday nights, next week they got another one. Link up in the comments section below with Sim 500 Esports Racing League with the member site. Thank you again to everyone for tuning in. Where I gotta go, it's been a long night, and it's time for me to get back to my vacation. So, for all of us here, have a good night and a safe trip back for us here on PT Race TV.